Iraq Dinar News highlights from iqdcalls.com. Very active chat room. March 28, 2019 from Larry KN. Kurdistan leans on private sector to emerge from economic downturn. Iraq hosts tourism forum with hopes of attracting Kurdish visitors. Iraq PM courts Egyptian investment at Cairo summit. Parliament rejects draft amendments to nationality law. Acting ministers won't manage ministries starting June, Abd al-Mahdi. Halbouzi to meet with U.S. House Speaker, Defense Secretary. State obliged to give all Iraqis lands for housing, MP. Tunisia summit to discuss Iraq debt. 75% of firefighting. Business and money. Economy News Baghdad. Preparatory meetings for the summit included Arabic 30 in Tunisia, adding an agenda item includes firefighter. 75% of Iraq's debt within the funds provided for the Arabic states, and take a unified Arab stance towards the Turkish forces' violation of Iraqi sovereignty. Summit spokesman Arabic ambassador Mahmoud Kamirai morning newspaper quoted official informed. Economy, meeting delegates discussed 23 items to add to any business. Foremost Saudi Arabic Summit Presidency Report preceding 29th report the Secretary General on Joint Arab Action. He added that, Khmer topped the agenda to follow political developments of the case remained the Arab-Israeli conflict STINET and the Arabic Peace Initiative, Israeli violations in occupied Jerusalem, settlements and developments support the budget of the State of Palestine and the people Palestine, the occupied Syrian Arab Golan. He said the agenda also included the crisis in Syria and the situation in Libya and Yemen and an item about a unified Arab stance towards the Turkish forces' violation of Iraqi sovereignty, and items about promoting peace and development in the Republic of the Sudan, and support for the Republic of Somalia. Support of Comoros as looking meet the Iranian interference in the internal affairs of states Arabic. He drew the Khmer ad item on internally displaced people in Arabic countries and displaced Iraqis in particular and ensure table draft resolutions submitted by the Economic and Social Council. The agenda included an item about 75% of Iraq's debt extinguished under support funds provided to Arabic countries under Arabic League. Secretary of Commerce to establish regulatory mechanisms for the next agricultural season. Business and money. Economy News Baghdad. Trade Minister Mohammedani, Thursday, a meeting of the committees overseeing the marketing campaign for the wheat crop for the next planting season. The Commerce Department said, in a statement received News Economy Minister, Ani Terrace, today, a meeting of the committees overseeing the marketing campaign for the wheat crop for the next planting season, in the presence of the Prime Minister's advisor and Administrative Under-Secretary Walid Sweet grain trade officials in all the provinces. The minister said during the meeting, Ani, required to initialize and prepare regulatory mechanisms to accommodate the marketed quantities of peasants and farmers, in coordination with the Ministry of Agriculture and agricultural people scattered across the provinces marketed. He noted that, the campaign should be the organizational situation. There will be a calculating and control of all the sponsors of the campaign. He continued, the campaign requires diligence and make every effort to make it successful, and we will not allow the failure this time because we have all the details and give us the broad powers that could originate any responsible campaign. The minister drew attention to the need to create the receiving and storage areas to receive quantities of peasants and farmers in all provinces of the country, as well as address the disruptions that occurred in previous years and develop the mechanisms needed to decipher the bottlenecks and facilitate actions for farmers without hindrance and difficulties. And, it must be coordinated with governors and local governments and create examiners' access to staff of the Ministry of Agriculture. The ministry said in a statement that during the meeting to hear reviews of subcommittees and the problems they face and have been processed. The campaign kicks off in the middle of next month for the central and southern provinces amid expectations of a significant increase in quantities cultivated and marketed to Commerce Department stores. Iraq opens its doors to Turkish businessmen. Business and money. Economy News Baghdad. Iraq's ambassador to Ankara invited Hussein Mahmoud al-Khatib, Turkish businessmen to look for business opportunities and investment in Iraq. This came in a speech during the effectiveness of introducing Iraq organized by the Izmir Chamber of Commerce, Western Turkey. Khatib pointed to mutual trust between Iraqis and Turkish investors, adding, "We want to look for jobs and investment in Iraq, offer all guarantees for investors. Links to other cultural and religious brothers, and approximately between Iraq and Turkey, besides having common interests." The trust relationship between the two sides have deepened particularly over the last year, and increased the frequency of visits, and Turkey support the territorial integrity of Iraq played a role in the development of those relations. He expressed his expectations of a meeting between the two heads of state gather in Baghdad after the Turkish local elections scheduled for the end of the week. Iraqi-Saudi Coordination Council held a preparatory meeting for the forthcoming joint meeting beginning next April. Side of the Iraqi-Saudi Coordination Council meeting. Business and Money. Economy News Baghdad. The coordination group held for Iraqi-Saudi Coordination Council, Thursday, a preparatory meeting for the joint meeting with the Saudi Council scheduled in Baghdad early next month. The Deputy Prime Minister for Energy and Oil Minister Tamir during the meeting, chaired by Economy statement, that much of the work was not carried out by the Coordinating Council, and the Council will prepare memoranda of understanding and cooperation with ministries of Saudi Arabia to sign in the upcoming meeting, which will be held in Baghdad between the two sides in April, noting that project deliverables are an investment benefiting from the Samawa Desert groundwater, creating the pitch gave the Saudi king to Iraq. Reviewed his cabinet secretary Dr. Mahdi Relations, Saudi Coordination Council delegation meeting summary who visited Iraq headed by Under-Secretary of Industry, and the signing of memorandums of understanding between the Iraqi ministries. Attendees agreed to complete incomplete procedures, conventions for signed with initials until delivery of the final form. Next. From Chattels. Iraqi Speaker of Parliament in Washington at meeting with acting U.S. Defense Secretary says U.S. forces must remain in Iraq and should provide increased training, intelligence and logistical support to Iraqi forces. Halbouzi is a Sunni, so it is not really a surprise that he supports the U.S. remaining in Iraq. Islamic State leader goes low-tech to evade capture. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi has pinned his survival on shunning computers and mobile phones in favor of human messengers. Baghdad. Despite the fall of Islamic State's self-proclaimed caliphate, the group's leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, remains at large, having for years evaded a massive manhunt by America's military and intelligence agencies. The 47-year-old jihadist, whose call to arms drew thousands of Muslims from around the world to battlefields in Syria and Iraq, is believed to be hiding in a remote stretch of desert that straddles the border between the two countries, according to Iraqi security officials. Next. From Young SC. Finance invites all ministries to coordinate with the planning to complete the inclusion of investment projects. Next from Woke AF. Riyadh, Iraq. The head of the Iraqi Trade Bank, Faisal Al-Hims, said Tuesday that the Iraqi Trade Bank is preparing to take part in the Iraqi-German Business Forum, which opened on Monday in the German capital of Berlin in the presence of several government figures, businessmen, and investors. To launch the project, Investment Portfolio, Bonds Republic of Iraq. The Iraqi Trade Bank has received 5 awards for various services in 2018. One of which was honored by the Central Bank of Iraq as the best bank to provide localization services to state employees, said Homs, in a statement to a reporter for the Rudawa Media Network in Germany. Global Financials, and EMA Finals, was the result of the bank to provide international trade services between Iraq and various countries of the world, in addition to the award of the best commercial bank and investment. He added, "We are scheduled to launch during this year the Investment Portfolio Project, which is the Dinars, which enhance investment opportunities with bonds of the Republic of Iraq and have a good return and was coordinated with one of the investment banks." Noting that, this project will be more open to companies because the minimum investment volume will be $150,000 and the citizen wishing to invest to prove his ability to bear the entry of this investment. The bank is committed to all local and international compliance regulations and requirements, and on the basis of which we make sure that our transactions are among the exceptions that Iraq has received, he said. Pointing out that, the bank is open to finance all projects that will be useful to the country, and has already funded cement factories, hospitals, and others, and we continue on this approach. Thanks for tuning in. For more details, transcript, and links to articles you can go to iqdcalls.com in our chat.